Okay. Triple check I'm in the right place. You only do it once, hey. Live stream in the wrong place to your personal profile. You only ever do that once, let me tell you. Alrighty, hey everybody. So today's session is essentially an opportunity for Q&A. It's also an opportunity for story crafting. So if you have any questions about your chapter, provided, little caveat, this will work better if I've read your chapter. So I have read everyone's chapter here. It's an opportunity to really get, quite specific and targeted coaching around your chapter. So yeah, I'm going to be really handing it over to you guys today. And also this is an opportunity as well to ask any questions about the submission and the editing process moving forward as well. So who would like to go first? Why don't you go first, Farah? You're at the top of my screen.
Yeah, I was just looking at my chapter.
Yeah.
So
How are you
thank you
feeling
very
about it
much.
all?
I'm feeling good. I like the edits and just one part is you said that like I do tend to skip around in the timeline.
Yep.
How do you suggest I fix that? Like what do you think?
It is tricky. And because I do get the kind of flashing forward, flashing back, I really
Context?
I get that as well from a creativity perspective as well. Like, we see it work really well in movies and TV shows.
I'm more a video person.
Yeah,
For
it
sure.
is tricky with writing because unless we really, it is tricky with writing. So I'll be really curious to see what our editors say as well, because they're going to have a lot more like dialed in, nuts and bolts perspective. But when it comes to your chapter, let me just tune back into it. I've read quite a few. I know, I remember it. Yeah. So I feel like what you want to do is you want to grab, like, if you can, do you have a printer at home?
No, but I can get it printed.
Okay, it's not essential, but what I find works really well if we're kind of either if you're struggling with the word counts. I know that there's a few of you who are quite significantly, yours isn't, but for anyone watching the replay, quite significantly over the word count. Or if it's just like you're not certain about the flow, and I think that's what it is for you. It's the flow, like they're really powerful vignettes. But and that's one thing that you hang on. I'm gonna make a note of that so I don't forget. I'm going to speak to this initial bit first. What's a really good idea to do is to print it off and to grab a few different colored highlighted textures and actually go through and highlight. So for you, it would be highlighting the different vignettes, right, that you're talking about. You might not necessarily need to print it off, but I just find it works quite well for me, being quite visual. And then you can also highlight the different threads as well. Right? So you want to see like, okay, what actual threads am I unpacking in my story? What are the core threads? And then what are the core vignettes? And what might actually work for your chapter, Farah, is to have them be, how in some text you see separate parts of the chapter that's separated by like some little asterisks to indicate that it's a different section. I think something like that would actually work better for yours rather than, flash forward in time, flash back in time. I mean, you can still mention that it's back in time or forward in time, but we just want to bring some more definition into those because they are individual scenes, vignettes, we say in writing, that do merge together. The other thing that you could do as well could be to get a timeline. So actually draw, okay, so this is so here's my chapter. This is the earliest thing that I talk about. And this is the latest thing that I talk about, and then plot everything on a timeline. Not that you have to start from the beginning and go forward in time that way. You don't need to do that. I'm not saying that you do that. However, it might just be good to get an idea of how you are sort of jumping around a little bit, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And then you can kind of just like a line with little notches in it. Okay, this is the first part, this was the date, and then this is the second bit. And then you might even just draw, here's Lenore. You might even just draw some little arrows kind of indicating how you're jumping, just so you can get a visual.
Yes.
And I think from there, it's going to help to really, for you to be able to see that, right? To see how it's all working and to see how you can bring it together. I do think creating some little vignette, like doing it more in vignette style. And do you know what I mean by that?
Vignette style, not
Vignette.
really.
Okay, let me just search the official term vignette. I'm pretty sure it's a French word. Vignette. A brief evocative description, account, or episode, a small illustration or portrait which fades into the background. Okay, that's the wrong. So yeah, a brief evocative description, account, or episode. That's a good way to think about it. They're like episodes, right?
Episodes,
and so you do have different episodes in your chapter.
Yes.
So that's what I would recommend. How does that feel? Do you have any questions about that?
I like it. Yeah, I like the clarity of having it like episodes. Even though, because the chapter is quite short.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's also why it's like
the
skipping around feels.
You do have scope. You do have scope to link it a little bit more, considering you've got more to chew on in the word count there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it might be, I mean, it's probably been a while since you've like worked on it. Has it been a while? Yeah.
Yeah, it has like over a week. Yes.
Good. You want to come to it with some fresh perspective and just read it for like almost read it as if you're reading it through the eyes of the reader. And another really good thing to do, if you have someone that you trust, read it out loud to them. That's a really great thing to do. So you're reading it and hearing it through their ears as you're reading it almost, and then you can get their feedback. Yeah,
that's great. I'll do that.
And if you don't have if you don't have anyone, I'm sure there would be someone in the group who'd be more than happy to jump on Zoom.
Awesome.
You know, because I know what it's like when you're working on something it's not finished. You know, it's kind of like, it's not ready. I don't want anyone to hear it.
He knows all of this, so he won't be. Yeah, so he's a good. Maybe it's a good. He actually even offered to, because I've been wanting to write my story since forever, like since I've met him, and he actually even offered to just like listen to me, and we could just record it on a.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
I never did that.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be a beautiful thing to do.
Yeah. Just to like speak it out and.
Yeah. I mean, the other tricky thing is the end, where I completely understand. I understand why you decided not to reveal the incident. I totally get that. I would just read it again and read it with fresh ears, fresh eyes. There might be a way that you might not even need to go into it if it's still super raw. You know, the event that happened that you didn't want to disclose the details of.
Yeah.
If it's still super raw, it might not even need to be in there. And that's a good way to gauge it. It's like, you know, would you share it on social media if you wouldn't share it on social media, because it's going to be getting a lot of exposure, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so it might be. Sorry.
No, sorry. I was thinking of who's involved and my relationships and
of course
not wanting to.
It's
like,
tricky.
It's tricky.
It is, and I know everyone goes through some aspect of this. You know, I know a number of the women have been. There's Lauren. A number of the women have been talking about this. You know, like and it is because it's published, it's immortalized, our words. You know.
I know.
At the end of the day, I always say it's your story, and you know, it's your story. And you can tell it in a way that is empowering, that, you know, isn't pointing the finger or, you know, blaming or shaming or victimizing if it involves other people. But at the end of the day, it's your story, and you get to do with it what you want. you know? So yeah, how does that feel for you?
Yeah, it feels good. It's just it was something that it's a little tricky because it involves family, it involves,
of course. So it might not need to even be in there. And if you are going to take that part out, then you would have more scope to kind of flesh out the core themes and to link the different scenes together. If
do you
you
think
wanted
it would be enough to just have the scenes and not have an ending?
Oh no, I would have another ending. I would want you would want to round it out in another way if you decide that you don't want to end it that way. If you're happy to end it that way, then go for it. I'm just thinking if it's still a bit like tender and a bit raw, is it a good idea? That's something for you to feel into.
Okay.
What would you say would be the ultimate thread, like the key thread for your story?
I feel like it's very much about how in all the adversity that my life has presented me with, how in the end of the day the thread is that like life has taught me to believe.
Yeah.
Like trust, believe.
Goosebumps.
Follow, like just know that you are so supported.
Yeah.
And even if everything in the 3D, like you can't see it anywhere, but there's a part of you, if you really tune in, you can feel that support. And I've always felt that.
Even in the toughest of times.
Even in the times where I feel like this moment, my heart's going to stop beating. That's how much pain I've been in. But there was always this part of me that is like, you're here for something. Hang on.
Beautiful. So that's what you want to leave the reader with, like really bringing that home, that piece home. And I reckon go back over and listen to what you just said. Timestamp 18 minutes in, 15 minutes in, and go and listen, because that's the energy and the feeling that you want to leave the reader with. So you might even read your chapter again with that in mind, like write that down and then see like, okay, where am I demonstrating? And I love this analogy to show, not tell, right?
Right.
I mean, we can still tell. It's great to still tell, but that's the real art of storytelling, is to show through the stories that you're sharing, and to let the reader like come to that realization themselves. That's real art of storytelling. Yeah. So even looking back over at the different vignettes that you've described, and like, you know, the heartbreak, the intensity, everything that you just said, times when you're like, I don't know if, you know, and then like, where can you shine a little of that light of that moral on, right? Even not to like discount the intensity of the experience, because we don't want to do that either. But it's like, this is what you are left with, and this is how you got through it, because you are anchored so powerfully in that knowing. Yeah, that's the ultimate thing that your chapter's about, which is incredibly powerful. Look at the light.
Oh. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. How does that feel?
Yeah, really good. Thank you.
Okay, good. Awesome.
Write it down now.
Yeah. Awesome. Come back if you have questions, pop your hand up as we go through. Okay. Who else wants to pop in? This is for those that have joined. Here's Ali. I'll just let Ali join in, and I will just reiterate what I said at the beginning. Hi, Ali. Welcome, love. Lenore, hi. Lauren, hi. Hi, Ali. Hi, everyone. I was just saying, this is an opportunity for Q&A. It can be either Q&A as it relates to your chapter. Easier for me if I've read your chapter, of course. And it can also be Q&A as it relates to the editing and the submission process. So that's what today is all about tonight. Who else would love to pop in and share or ask? Yes, Mona. Hi.
Yes, so I always use the world clock. So it's like about 45 hours, the deadline, 5 o'clock Sydney time.
Ooh.
Is that right?
It's 5 p.m. Sydney time. Yeah.
That it's due. Okay. Because I mean, I refer to that because I know part of Australia just had a time change. Now they're on the same as you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how did that happen? You know, because I look at it every day.
Back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our clocks went back, and I think there was a time change in Europe, and was there a time change in America? The whole calendar just went there.
You know, ours was a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
5:30 is better than 3:30. Hey.
It's all good. I go to take a nap so I can make it.
Beautiful.
I you know, I know that you read mine, and mine was like right at the word count, and I had to pluck the scene about the dog, the two different places to fit in.
Oh yeah, you did pluck that. I didn't miss that scene though. I think that it was okay.
I figured that was not pertinent, really.
Yeah.
To the story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to put in, you know, what I'm currently working with, the RTT therapy.
Yeah, beautiful.
And, so I've been really struggling with the bio.
Yeah.
You know, because having been on disability for the last 6 years with PTSD. I mean, I've had it forever, but you know, it's under control. And now with this exposure of the chapter, because I've kind of been hiding out, you know, through the COVID.
But Mona, I'm gonna stop you there, because I know where you're going, and I know the thought process that you're on, and I want you to go back and read your chapter, because you talk about all of the things that you did afterwards, and that's important stuff that you can put into your chapter. So, you know, you worked with rape hotlines and sexual abuse hotlines. You worked with assemblymen to change the legislation in your state.
And I didn't put any of that in there.
No, right? Like this is the stuff you got to put in. You're an advocate for people that are healing from sexual assault and, you know, complex trauma. You are studying RTT by the time you will be certified. So put that in. You're certified RTT.
Yeah, so I'm putting that I am certified in there now.
Exactly.
And that I'm also international best-selling author. Now, like, should that be number 1 or number 2?
So I wouldn't put it, because at the time of release, the book won't have charted. So we can, once the book has reached best-selling, then put that in. But for now, I just feel, what's the word? It's some kind of like woo-woo for me. I'm always like, let's just play it cool. We always get to number 1, but I don't like to, I don't know. It's some like funny thing that I have.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
I don't want to jinx it. Do you know what I mean? Not that we won't jinx it, because the system works really well. But yeah, at the end of the day, what's your mission? What are you an advocate for? And then what's your experience? Right? Mission, advocate, experience. And then you can also, of course, talk about the RTT work that you do, and who you're specializing in working with. And that will easily bring you up. You can mention that you have survived this this experience, but you don't need to if you don't want to. In fact, people will have read your story. I don't think you need to put that in the bio. The bio is more about your experience and your accreditation, your certifications, and, you know, your mission. Like, what do you stand for? Yeah. So you say it all in your chapter. Go back and have a read. Yeah. And like changing laws in the United States, that's no mean feat, right? Like
no, it's still
getting laws
going. That, you know, I found that, you know, that was fighting. That's masculine. That's, you know, being an advocate for people who and their families who either died or were sexually assaulted as children. You know, speaking for them was pretty easy with my personal background, you know, having been kidnapped, you know, so that I felt like I was having a voice for myself and for them. And you know, a couple years ago is like you know, that feels like fighting, and that's not my message of spreading forgiveness and love. So
yeah, but it's still a core part of your experience. So it's like by putting it in your bio, it's not as if you're going to be recreating that for yourself, but I think it gives you a lot of like it helps people to be able to see, you know, what you're about, what you stand for, what you've dedicated your life to. And so yes, that was in the earlier stages of your life, and now you're moving more into the feminine, more into the yin, more into the healing, the inner work, and then supporting people to heal through the inner work now. So that's quite beautiful. You've got the masculine and the feminine coming together. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm feeling better. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. Well done. I just say I received Mona's initially. Do you mind if I share, Mona? Okay. Mona handed in a chapter initially, and when I read it, I was like, Mona, you can like you can go so much deeper. I know you can. And you were like, I've already done it. Here's the second one. And you sent me the second one, and it was like everything I knew that had to be in that chapter. It was amazing. You did such a good job. And I know you smashed that out in like 24 hours. Yeah.
I stole it from my book.
Oh, okay.
You know, I've been working on writing a big book. And my thought was the chapter was going to be like easier to get it out there and then lead them to the book.
100%.
That's where I pulled it from so quickly.
Beautiful. Okay.
Because
well, yeah, that's fine. And I think even take it like, because not everyone's going to read both, you know, and it's totally fine to do that, you know, 100%. 100%.
Well, I thought the chapter was going to be like a summary, but it's not really.
Yeah.
There's just so much that had to be left out, you know, in 4,000 words, which is awful.
Yeah, for sure. You did so great. Well done.
Thank you.
Not an easy thing to write. I know. Okay. Any other questions? Anyone else have a question? We can go to Bronwyn. You're next. We'll just go around like that.
Yeah, no, cool. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. I'm in that stage now where I've submitted to you. I've done it, but I'm such a perfectionist. So in my head, I'm going, oh my God, should I recheck it? Should I redo it? You know, that whole adrenaline thing with me. Going, oh my God, does that make sense? But I'm feeling really anxious actually about it. I'm like, oh God, people that I know, and I know that you, when you referred to that before, because I know when Ali posted, I was like, oh, thank God she posted, because I was feeling the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just feeling really anxious. I'm like, oh shit, like all these people I know are going to be reading my story.
What's the fear there?
I'm totally exposed. Like 100%. Yeah.
And what's the fear of being vulnerable?
Well, I was thinking about it actually. This is the first time I've talked about it.
Yeah.
Like outside of a private confidential session, you know, with a counselor or a psych or something, you know. So
I had a
really, really big.
I had a similar experience when I released the Younger Self Letters chapter, which spoke about my, you know, the dance with very similar topics.
Yeah.
And I know you've read that, and for me it was like, man, I was fighting every ounce of myself to pull it and be like, that's just not going to happen, because what are people going to think, and I'm going to lose my credibility, and no one's going to work with me, and everyone's going to think I'm an idiot, and all of the voices. So I know where you're at. I really do. I know where you're at. And this is the surrender.
Yeah, 100%. And I know it's time, but it's just, and reading your story, I could feel it, because I was, you know, had a lot of similarities there. And so but it's scary as hell.
It is.
I'm like, oh my God.
It is, yeah.
Because I've always been that, like, I want to say I'm a control freak. Well, I don't.
Does anybody ever admit they're a control freak?
Oh, I know, right? I know, right? Maybe I am. but I like all my ducks in a row, you know, like I'm just
yeah.
that person, you know, and so it's that it is that vulnerability. Yeah.
And that's what this whole process has been for you right from the beginning when you said yes. Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah, I know for you. Yeah, 100%. So this is the surrender, and this is where you're going to have to do, like, I feel probably some inner child work. Yeah, like, what does that little girl, what's she afraid of?
Yeah, I've been talking to her actually. She's been coming through in my meditations from the beginning actually.
Okay.
So so that's good to get that feedback from you, because
I'll tell you what happened for me. So this was the thing that I'd been like so afraid of people ever learning, you know, that like I had been that close to ending my life. It was like the greatest shame for me. And I lived with that shame for years. And then when I released that chapter to the world, it was like, you know, if you imagine the energy system, like the one piece of coiled tension that's restricting the whole system from being free. When I released that chapter, I was like, oh, scooped out there. All right. It popped. And the release of that coiled tension reverberated throughout my whole system. And it was that thing that set me free. Set me free completely. You know, it set me free from that identity, from the shame, from, you know, the guilt, from it all. It just went. And so it's really actually like the biggest thing that we can do, actually, and the bravest thing that we can do. And you've known intuitively that it's time to do it, but it's like now coming face to face with all the threshold guardians that are on the other side, you know, going, okay, how's she? So what's coming up for you?
Yeah, thank you so much. That's good to hear, because I have to trust it, you know.
Yeah. And it would be great to, like, even once it's released, to share this, you know, like I wouldn't share it before. I would share it after the book is published, to sort of like talk about your, like, whether it's through social media or with your local community or to your email list, like talk about why this is so big for you. And, you know, how you want to shine the spotlight on mental health and, you know, all of these demons that everyone deals with, but no one fucking talks about. Everyone deals with it, you know. We're here thinking we're the only one dealing with it, but it's not true. Everybody's dealing with it. Nobody is talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's good to hear. And you're right. It's true. I see it every day.
You see it every day in clinic. Exactly.
Every day I see people struggling, you know. So
and like how much more how much more power would we have if we were able to just, like, you know, if it was like mental health issues were like, oh, I have a sore leg. You know, it didn't have the same stigma, and it's a lot better than it was, but it's still got a long way to go.
Oh, huge. Yeah, I mean, this for me, I've been dealing with this for a long time, and even when I was working in welfare, in community services, and you know, women like generations after generations of women coming through, and you just be like, there's so much stigma with it, you know. And there's so much shame, and you know, not being able to talk about it, and that's something that had been passed down through generations.
And it's that right there, that passing down through generations, and the impact that it has on people as they get older, they like tightly bound by this, the impact it has on children, you know, like that, I think is what would be really powerful for you to talk about in your business, you know, as like something that you're a stand for changing when you release this book. This is how, for everyone, this is a really great, powerful thing here. When the book is released, you really want to find ways that you can like link your mission with your chapter and the energy of the book. So it's like when it's released, you're like, this is why I believe so much in this book. This is why I believe so much in my chat, you know, in sharing my story. This is why I've gone through this process, you know, this like rebirth process of sharing my of sharing my vulnerable story with the world and bearing You know, one of my mentors, she talks about like everything a woman wants is on the other side of her ability to hold sensation in her body. Because how often do we collapse when it becomes too much? Yeah, we collapse and we're like, I'm just going to do it, or I'm going to, whatever that impulse is. But actually it's about holding the sensation, holding, like bearing the pain and the excruciating pain of vulnerability. And that's actually what opens us as women. That's what opens us up to receive more from life. Because when we're trying to control, trust me, I know this really well. When we're trying to control our environment and get really like finicky with the details, we're closing right down. Yeah, so we're not open anymore. We're not open to our world, to the universe. We're not open to receiving what we say we want. And it's like in the opening, and when I was concepting this book, like a lot of the terminology that was coming through was like the excruciating yet the painfully beautiful experience of being cracked wide open. Like it is simultaneously excruciating and glorious, you know, and it's that we are actually doing with the release of this book. It is our own threshold. Farah, go for it.
So I've been wondering how, sorry for the sun.
It's beautiful.
I've been wondering how I'm going to link my chapter to what it is I do, because what I do, service is like, there's a part of my work where women come to me who have been hiding, right? And who have had, like, for whatever reason, they've not felt confident to own their gifts. And they're like, I'm fine in sessions with clients and it's easy to, you know, share my genius, share my gifts. And you probably heard that too. But when it comes to coming out into the world and doing it, so like the first thought is just for me to be able to write maybe one of the most vulnerable things that I have ever written and revealed is a way for me to do that, because
to
walk the talk. Do you think that's the link?
Look, that's definitely like an incredibly powerful link. Like as leaders, we go first, you know, we go first. That's what we decide to do when we step into a position of, when we self-identify with positions of leadership. Because we don't get given those titles. We're not like in a job where it's like, okay, you can have a you know, what do they call them? A promotion. I didn't even know the word. I've never really worked in jobs like that. But
no.
You know, like we identify, we give ourselves the rank, right? And so we go first. And I think walking the talk and like sharing, similar to what I said with Bronwyn, sharing the experience of what it was like to not only write this, like what's the thing you're most afraid to share to the world? And then like imagine fucking writing it and publishing it to the world. Like that's no mean feat. Yeah. Like when we actually go through that process, it's like, it's huge. We face everything. So sharing your experience with that and all the doubts, the perfectionism, the sabotage patterns, everything that comes up. Absolutely really important. But then I also think what you said before, 15 minutes into our session, around trusting and being guided and having the faith and to trust that if your intuition says yes, sometimes it doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah? I mean, how many times have we been guided to do something, we talk ourselves out of it because, oh, Lauren, that's fine, sweetheart. If you had questions, you know where to find me, pop into PM and I'll answer them. Don't worry, I know, I know that dance. You know, like I feel there's aspects of that as well from plucked right from what you said earlier around, you know, having the faith, having trust, like trusting your intuition, knowing you're always held, you're always guided. And then like, how do you support your clients with their branding to anchor into that so that they can be fully exposed and fully unleashed, right? I think there's two really powerful threads there for you with your front-facing social media content. Yeah.
Thank you.
But it's just like different ways that you can speak about the book and different angles. Yeah. Like especially in the lead up and also post launch as well. In the lead up is going to be really important because we're going to be bringing together our people and, you know, weaving the momentum and the visibility. And because I'm going to be talking soon, we're going to start shifting into talking about the launch. We're going to be calling together our launch pods of at least 40 to 50 people who have raised their hands, said that they're happy to purchase the book on the day. It'll be like $1. It's super cheap. They buy it through Kindle. So, you know, these are things we're going to need to start thinking about, like bringing together our peoples and calling together
I've been trying to think about how I can even share that I've been writing this.
Yeah.
And like you've seen like in my content a little bit, but I haven't
seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I haven't been able to really like.
And it might be that you've needed to write the chapter first.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Yeah. It's like needing to write it makes it real. Like it's okay, it's happening now.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be like, I'm an author with no chapter.
Not that that's ever happened. I've never known that to happen. But and so I would even just share that. I've been doing this really big thing and I've been like like how do I find the words to talk about this? Like share. I think that's really good actually. Be super vulnerable and super real. Like I've been doing this huge thing and I haven't told you about it. Like, isn't that strange? But anyway, I'm going to share with you now.
Some people in the group, you know, it's just flowing through them. And
but people read your content and feel it flowing through you, right? So it comes through in different ways and it'll all come together in the end for everyone. It's just that for some people it comes through in this way and other people it comes through in that way. It's just trusting the process. But it's also about like, there's the fine line between trusting the process and taking the action. You know, I always feel like that with business, it's always the blend of like doing the energetics and the inner work, and then like taking the strategy, being seen, getting out there. I'm just talking to everyone here, you know, because what I've noticed is that people can often like go all in on one or the other. And, you know, it's important to have both the masculine, the feminine, to do the inner work as it comes up and then to take the action, to meet it, right? Every time we up level in one way, up level so that it's not like that. Yeah. I know, Farah, that's not like, I'm not speaking to you directly here. I'm speaking to the whole group. But yeah, like just be super real, you know, like
my 3-5.
Yeah, exactly.
Realness.
How can you not be? That karmic mirror. Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you.
So does that feel good with the threads? And more will come.
Yeah.
You know, more will come. But especially if you're going to be launching off the back of our launch, it's like, and we might even think like strategically, we're going to start talking about more strategic things as we, you know, hand in the chapters and move into the visibility side of the project. Like, what am I launching? What is that all about? How does it connect with my chapter? How does it connect to Threshold? How does it connect to my mission? How does it connect to what I'm really passionate about? And like, I'm always envisage big mind maps and do big mind maps for myself so that I can visually see it, you know, like all of the different topics I can speak about as it relates to Threshold, my story, my offers, my soulmate clients, pain points and desires and transformational outcomes of my work, like how it all links together, because there's beautiful weaving that we can do here. Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you, though.
Bronwyn, I'll just circle back to you. Does that feel complete for you, or is there anything else that?
Just a couple of things, just listening to you talk and Farah talk. Did my chapter make sense to you when I made those changes? Did you reread them after? Yeah, that makes sense. Like, okay,
100%. Cool. Yeah, I would have said doesn't make sense if it didn't.
I thought you, when we said that, I just wanted to make sure, because you know sometimes when you're typing and it's easy when you're talking rather than thank you. yeah, my bio, I'm reading my bio going, I mean, it sounds fine, but again, that perfectionism comes in.
It
You know what
sounds
I mean? Like, sounds fine. Yeah, I don't know. I read it and I go, I can make that sound so much better. But I think I'm just going to leave it because I know it's a bit like a saw. You keep picking it and then you doubt yourself.
Have you popped it into the group? You're welcome to do a post and share it in, and I'll take a look.
I could, but that's my third thing that I was going to say to you. I still haven't shared anything on social media about what I'm doing.
Okay,
I have that. I still have that resistance. Well, because I'm not a big social media person. I don't use it. Like I don't post what I'm eating for breakfast.
Do you have an email
list? No.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
So, you know, it doesn't, if you're not super big on social media, I mean, it doesn't need to be. I mean, it is good. Are you wanting to build up social media engagement or not really? Doesn't turn you on?
Part of me, that definitely doesn't turn me on. Part of me does. Yeah. And part of me, I don't know. I know this sounds like conspiracy theory. I don't trust AI. I just don't. I don't trust my data out there. Like, I'm a very private person.
I get that. Yeah, I
totally
get that.
private person. And like I said, this is the first time I've shared my story with, like, I've got friends that don't even know this part of me. Like my best mate who said to me, I never shared anything growing up with her about my growing up with my life. And I didn't even write that in the story. I made mention of it, but I didn't talk about that because I couldn't go into that. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah. But yeah. So this is an initiation for you more than anything else. And I feel like it's like for some people in this project, they're doing it because they really want the like front facing, you know, tangible results business wise. For other people, they're doing it because they know that it's like what they need internally to the transformation that they desire, right? And and both will happen, but it's kind of like, where are you placing your, you know, priority? And if you're placing your priority over here and like, I'm doing this for me, I'm doing this to share my story, I'm doing this to set myself free, I'm doing this to step into my next power, like my next level of personal power. Yeah. But rather than I'm doing this to step into my next level of professional power, you know, then that's fine. Yeah.
Well, that's I kind of feel like that's what's been holding me back professionally, if that makes sense. Like I feel like I'm right at that precipice, like you're talking about. Like this really is it for me, because I feel like I've just been held back, and I'm just, and this has been the opportunity for me just to go forth with that. So I don't know where I'm going to end up professionally. Like I said, you know, I've done many things in my time, and who knows where I'm going to end up, and that's cool. But so but for social media, for me, it's it's we don't gel. Like the only reason I have a Facebook account is for things like this and for my work. Otherwise, I wasn't on social media for a long time, like at all. And I'm not. People know that I never, like, if they want to contact me, they need to call me or message me, or email me. Like,
it might be a good idea to start building up a bit of a list, because if you're not doing social media, if you're not really like keen and turned on by the idea of social media, then having an email list actually is more important than social media, really, at the end of the day, because you know, you own it. You're not going to have it like swiped out from underneath you like a social media account. And so, you know, going through your past clients, going through grabbing all of their information and creating a list so that at least you've got some place that you can market to, you know. If you don't want to do social media marketing, like, this is the thing that I've got going on, I'm launching my new book, I've got this new offering, you know. It's definitely it makes sense from a business perspective to do that, you know.
Yeah. And I want to set up a website, but I just haven't done that yet. And I think, I mean, the whole point of social media for me is to get people in, like fishing, get them in and then direct them to my website. But I haven't got there yet. Yeah. So that's kind of something that's in the back. So I put my social media on my bio and then my email, and that's it. That's all I've got so far. Yeah. So
yeah, beautiful. Yeah, awesome.
So I'll keep it short and sweet. I will post something on social media, but I'm just not. I just don't use it as a medium.
If you don't use it, if it's not your thing, don't push it. Don't push it for sure. Yeah. What might be really good for you, Bronwyn, is to do an in-person book launch.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about that when I got the message from
Annabelle.
Annabelle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd love to come up.
You should come. How far are you from Bellingen?
Oh, like an hour and a half. So
Okay.
I'm trying to wing it. I've just got to get the day off
It'd be
work.
so great. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've got to bring my kids. So
Okay, sure.
that's the only thing. So I might not, but yeah, I just want to see how that all runs. But I got very excited about that in-person more.
I feel like that's something that would be really great for you because you're all about community. How far are you from Ali? How far away are you guys?
Oh, like 15 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We've caught up already. So we've
hello.
met.
You need to have a connected book launch. How much easier would it be to do it together?
I didn't even think of that.
Two people, bringing people together, like two separate client lists, find a beautiful bookshop or, beautiful space. Yeah, that's got to happen.
You're an ideas woman, Tash.
Putting it out there.
That's why we've got you. Thank you.
Already half.
You know what? And do that and then invite the local media. We're going to talk about it. Invite the local newspaper, the local rag. Yeah.
Well, I do. I have met Peter Pinson, our mayor, of the council.
There you go.
So
invite the
I do know a few people. I know a few people in the community. Yeah, well, they all come into work, so you kind of get to know everyone. So yeah.
Thanks, that's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, love.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Ali, you're up next on my screen. How are you?
I'm good. As I reached out to you today and said to the group, and I've been away and I felt like I lost momentum and connection. And so that's then rattled the cage a little bit. So, there's part of me that's doubting the chapter. There's part of me that's doubting, is it has it got enough in there from a sense of, where I want to take it.
From a professional perspective, or what do you mean where I want to take it?
It's more from a perspective of, is the chapter interesting and does it deliver the message that I want it to deliver?
What do you think?
I don't know, that's why I'm asking.
Well, I mean, it had me in tears. So I'm pretty sure, and I sent you the message. It was like really touched and moved by your chapter, incredibly so. And that's always a pretty good barometer for me if I'm like, in a good way.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
When you said that, yeah.
Yeah, when I said that.
Yeah, I can't speak.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah.
All right, I want you just to put a hand somewhere where you feel cold and close your eyes. What is that? Just tuning into that relief. Yeah.
It's relief.
Yeah.
Because that's why I put out to the girls.
Yeah.
Because my own mother doesn't know what I've been through.
Yeah.
Because we had so much going on in the family with the floods and my dad dying and all the rest of it. How do you turn around and tell her what I'm physically going through? So she wants to read the book, which I'm more than happy, but then I have to sit down and say to her, hey, this is what my daughter's been dealing with for the last 2 years. She doesn't know about the last fall.
Yeah, it'll be hard for her to hear that.
Yeah, it is. But I'm also, it's part of that, like we say, Bronwyn's saying, it's part of that healing process.
Yeah.
For me, it's about, I suppose, because I've been in this industry for so long and I keep evolving, because that's what we're meant to do as way showers. Does it link enough? Does it show, as I say to the girls in the program, I am not your guru. I don't have all your answers, but what I can tell you is this is what I've done and it works. And so let's all go together. I walk beside them. I don't leave.
I love that. And they love that. I can feel that they love that.
They do, because they know that I'm not trying to be anything that I'm not.
And because they're surrounded by gurus.
Yeah.
Pretend gurus, real gurus, like I know I have all the answers, follow my way and you're going to get the same results as me.
Yeah.
And we can see straight through it now, like I think everyone's had a bad experience with a guru, And so your naturalness, your capacity to get on their level, to hold their hand, that's what I believe true mentoring is, you know, is like, I am right next to you. I'm holding your hand. We do this together. I'm here for you. I've got you. That's true mentorship, you know, through thick and thin, I've got you. And I think what shines through in your chapter is just how it's like, it's real, you know, your realness, your authenticity shines through. And I think from what I know of you, I think that's probably one of your highest values, would it be? At least that's the biggest value that kind of shines through for me. It's like your authenticity.
Well, to me, success is living authentically.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm living authentically every single day, truly following my heart, and I know I'm living a happy, joyful, successful life. So
I think that has to be in your chapter. I think that sentence.
Okay.
Plug it in, pop it in.
Pop it in.
Yeah.
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 I'm still working. Yeah. That's part of the process, trying, because when I channeled through, like, and did everything, I had the container. And then, as I was saying to you, like, you know, going away, it broke that. And I've come back and looked at it and gone,
You're starting to doubt it.
Yeah.
It's like the great artists. When do we know when something is finished? Leave it alone. It's done.
Yeah.
And there has to come a point where we have to say it's done. And that point, really, it needs to be when you hand it in for first round editing. Well, you know, this Thursday, because that's what we like. Ideally, you hand it in and you have full faith and full trust that is the chapter. Don't go nitpicking it once it's been edited.
Yeah. I think it's more for me is I don't want to have any regrets. I don't want to hold anything back.
Yeah.
And so that's why, you know, I'm going to go back into it.
I love that. And I think, I've had a number of authors in the last few books that I've done reach out months later saying, I skated across the surface of that chapter. I could have gone so much deeper. And I do regret that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I love that you're bringing awareness to that. And at the same time, you know, when you have gone deep, right? Because it brings with it that sense similar to, you know, what Bronwyn just shared of like, not for everybody, not for everyone. It doesn't. But, you know, if it's really like, okay, yeah, this is the story that I'm afraid to share and I'm going to share it. You know, it does. It brings with it that, like, it's like an ego death. It's like a mini ego death because the ego does not want, it's like, hold on, you know. So at equal parts, you know, give it another read. Have I gone there? Have I really gone there? You know, and then hand it in, let it go. Like, you know, hand it over to the universe.
Thank you. Do you so you think the link is there, the link that is strong enough to the story, to what I do and how I help?
Yeah, I'm just thinking back to it. I feel like that actually, now that I'm chatting with you and remembering back, I think that could be made a bit clearer. You mentioned the transformation project once, yeah, from memory. Yeah, you could go deeper with that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
and
you.
like really owning that this is what you're a stand for now, you know. And it's like, I love what you just said. I'm not your guru.
No.
I don't have all of your answers, but I can help you find your answers within yourself. And, you know, in the program that you've curated, that's exactly what you do, right? As much as we don't want it to be a sales pitch, but at the same time, it's like, this is a core part of your life's work and a core part of the way in which you fulfill your mission. And like, it's been born from your life experience, you know? So yeah, I do think there would be scope to bring like another layer in. And I don't mean like to add more words. So it's going to be tricky for you because I know that you're a bit over the word count. So you might need to have a look at like, okay, what can I take out if I'm going to add in more to go deeper with that? Don't take what I'm saying and be like, change the whole thing. That's absolutely not what I'm saying at all. But when you are, I do think that there is potentially a bit of scope to go just like that little bit deeper with the transformation project. Yeah. And it might, it's more than that. It's like what you just said, right?
Actually,
around like
this is, and I took it out.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
When I was trying to get down under the word count, I actually took that part out. So
yeah, okay.
I kept it. I've got it. I pulled everything I pulled out. I kept it.
Yeah. Okay.
The other question I had was in relation to my bio. I popped it up the other week when I wasn't, when I was sort of having a bit of a monkey moment. And I wasn't sure what you thought of that.
Have you put it into the group?
Yeah, back weeks ago. So I think you might have got
apologies. I think I must have
I didn't mean it like that. I just would like some feedback.
Yeah, of course. Let me just make sure that I can find it now. I've got you.
I can put it up again.
No, it'll be there. It'll be there.
But yeah, I'm just working on that.
Where did you put it in a thread? Or did you put it? Yeah.
I'll pop it in again.
Yeah, if you can, pop it in again and in like its own post, and I will have a read. Is it an old bio?
No, it's
good. Okay, good.
Our session.
Okay, great. Awesome.
Because my biggest problem has been, I don't know if anyone else has got this, but if someone says to you, what do you do?
Yeah.
I'm like a rabbit in headlight because I don't identify with any of my modalities anymore.
No, and it's actually the modality. And I remember once I was in a seminar and they said, it's never left me. No one cares about your fucking modalities.
All they want is
at the time I was gutted. I was like, I've just spent 5 years learning my modalities. What do you mean? I just want to know you can help them solve their problems. Exactly. How you do it, most people don't give a rat's ass. I love the words that came through for you around being a sacred space holder.
That's in there. That's in the bio. Yeah. And even now, someone asked me the other day what I did. I actually said I'm a threshold doula.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love it.
She just looked at it. She went, that's really cool. I really like that. Then she said, what's a threshold doula do? I explained it. So it was good. But that was thanks to you and thanks to this. Up until then, I choked every time someone said, what do you do? I want to say that modality or that modality because I it all. So
it's what we do, right? Because it's what we know. And there's safety in our modalities because they're frameworks that we've learned and that we feel safe in. But it is the next level is to claim your area of speciality and to say you are an expert at that rather than, naturopath, doula, yoga teacher, kinesiologist. Beautiful. Pop it in and I'll let you know. I'll have a look at it tomorrow.
Thank you. And thank you everyone who commented on that question about letting other people that you know read your story.
Yeah, it's a big one. It is.
Yeah.
It's a big one. And every author deals with it. Every author who, does nonfiction and talks about their life deals with it. At the end of the day, it's our life, it's our story, it's our journey. And I've always stood by the importance of, sharing it through an empowered lens and not, sharing it with the energy of victim. But at the end of the day, it's our story and it belongs to us. Do you know? If it affects other people, it affects other people. But I just think the most important thing is that you feel good with the way that you share it, that there's not an ounce of you being like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. But at the same time, then, we can get into that, like the good girl wouldn't say that, or the nice girl wouldn't say that, it's like, who am I in my empowered highest version of myself? And even like with incredibly traumatic things like Mona, your story, far out. But what you have learned from it, how it's transformed your life, how it's defined so much of what you dedicated your time to, you know, like that's the gold in it, you know, and it's incredibly powerful when we look at it through that lens. How does that feel, Ali?
It feels
feels good.
It does, thank you. And I suppose, you know, it's the caliber of women that are in the group that cause me to not compare, because I won't do that, but you still go, is this story worthy? There is still that, you know, part.
Yeah. Every single person feels that.
Yeah.
Every single person looks around at the other authors going, oh, right. At the end of the day, we're as sisters in a collaborative, you know, powerful. And I loved what you said around, it's the power of launching a book collectively, you know, because we can hold each other as we go through this experience. Like when you do that on your own, it's just you, maybe your publisher, but they're not there in, you know, they're not there in it with you.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it any other way. I think this has been one of the most amazing experiences I've had. So, because I actually feel that, I don't know about you ladies, but do you feel like you've really held, and that we've got each other? And
beautiful.
That feels.
Oh, it's music to my ears.
Thank you. But you've given me lots to work with there.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
It's really important for me that it doesn't come across, my chapter doesn't come across as a victim.
It doesn't.
So
I would have said so if it did. Yeah. It doesn't. Actually, no one's did. No one's came. And I've been quite brutally honest with people in the past, being like, you can run this through a different filter, I think. But no one did. No one's did. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you. Lovely, Lenore.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. How you doing?
Good. I haven't got orange lipstick on now. Different light.
Oh, I saw that before in the dark. I was like,
it was the
light.
light.
In the dark lippy.
It was crazy. And my glasses
Remind me
are broken.
some glow in the dark lippy.
I'm falling apart.
You're allowed to. It's 8:30 on a.
Oh, yay! Thanks. Really, 9:30.
Yeah,
Still
yeah.
takes me 2 weeks.
Yeah. How you doing?
Good. I've yet to write my bio.
Yep.
I'm not worried about it or anything really. Like
flow.
Yeah, I watched your video and I looked at others like yours and other people in the group who have written theirs. I think it'll be okay.
You've got a lot of experience you can anchor back into as well. It's about like, how do you because you know, it's one thing that happens, I've noticed, when we start a business or we start afresh in a new industry, is we're like, oh, I'm a beginner in this area. But actually it's about anchoring into your lived experience. And so what do you bring to your coaching? You bring, you know, your 30 years in midwifery, you bring your experience, right? You bring everything that you've learned up until that point. It's so much more than your qualifications and your, you know, time experience in this new role, right?
Okay. Yeah. I was just thinking it'll be pretty short because you know.
No, I think that for you, and I think this is going to be really powerful, and for everyone when we're talking about, you know, our experience, because, you know, we want to share that we know what we're doing and without being like, I know what I'm doing. And it's about talking about your life. You know, what have you lived through? Like, what have you learned? What have you experienced? What have you done? You've done a lot. And I know a bio is only 150 words, but I would bring that in. And like, what's the connection? There would be a connection there between your experience in midwifery and your experience, like what you do now, what you're a stand for now.
Yeah.
What's the
link? I
link?
guess so. Ability to get people through that, over that pain, and it is mostly women. They're not.
And it's okay to claim that. I work with women, 100%.
But not necessarily. Like there are male divine feminines out there.
Sure, 100%.
Yeah. So, but also, I guess as a midwife, I also coached the partners.
Yeah.
Because it's really funny, actually. I look back and when I see the family, when I would see the family together, I would never recognize the woman. I always recognize the partner.
Oh, is that
He was
interesting?
always the one I was talking to.
Yeah, right.
Funnily enough.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a complete aside. It's got nothing to do
that's
with
interesting
it. But
though.
yeah.
And it's like that threshold dueling as well coming in, you know. I think there's an element of that too. Like definitely with midwifery, like that is one of the greatest threshold dueling moments.
Yeah.
Actually supporting a life to come in and supporting the maiden to become a mother, right?
Yeah.
Few different thresholds there. And then
I'm making that link now. Like so create like help dueling the whole family to come in, which is a 3 energy. And twin flame is also a 3 energy. Yeah, it's masculine, feminine, and then sacred union.
Beautiful.
Yeah, divine union.
Yes, beautiful. Thanks. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's a really powerful link there. Not that you need to talk about that in your bio. You might not have the words to do that, but for you moving forward, as you really like stake, you know, put your stake in the ground. What's that phrase?
Stake your claim.
Stake your claim. That like this is what I do, and like this is my next level, and this is my next step, creating my business and becoming a coach, becoming a mentor, like that. It's the content and the way you're describing the work and the way that you're, you know, sharing yourself with the world, that's going to be bringing the people towards you, you know, like, and I'm all about magnetizing, not hustling, like calling them to you. And you know, there's so many ways we can do that. Total tangent. I was about to go on then. But you know what I mean?
See, I'm so not used to doing that because you know, a lot of the women here have had their own businesses for a while, and so they're like you might be a bit more geared towards bringing people into you, whereas I've never ever had to do that.
It's a total paradigm shift for a lot of people. It is. And it's about like owning your shit and owning your power and daring to shine. Daring to take up space.
That's daring to take up space. That's the big thing.
And especially if you do, like I predominantly use social media for my business, and all my family are there, all my high school friends are there. I went through a phase where I booted a few people off, like my brother. It was always, you'd have a few wines and he'd be like, why do you fucking post so much on social media?
Don't need that, go away.
I literally booted him. But, you know, everyone's there. And like at first it was really challenging to share all of this stuff with knowing that my family weren't commenting or liking it, but they were reading it, you know. And then I just got to the point where it wasn't even a thing. It was like,
I remember when Jules was doing the Wild Woman Rising with you, and that was a big thing for her. She was really worried about what family, and she said that actually in the end, those people didn't even comment anyway because they thought it was too weird or too far out or too this or too that, so they just bypassed it. I don't think I'm particularly worried about people that I know reading it, or maybe I'm just being naive and I'm blocking that out on purpose. The other thing about you were talking to, I think it was Bronwyn, about the social media thing is because mine is so niche, I don't know that social media or Facebook is going to be much help for me. Because I just think most of the people in my friends groups, I mean, not that I know, because I didn't talk about my twin flame journey for 16, 17 years, but I can't imagine that anyone else is on it. So
yeah, I actually think because it is so niche, it's actually really powerful for social media because
right.
and there's strategies around like how do you, if you're deciding that you want to use your profile to grow your business and it's a personal profile, not a business profile. Business profiles are shit unless you're paying
Yeah, they are,
for
aren't they?
advertising. Don't even waste your time.
Mm.
There's a lot of strategies you can use to find, like to set up your friends list so that you are calling in and, you know, people who are potential fit for your work. It's a real mindset shift.
Right.
Between like I use Facebook for family and to see pictures of my friends' kids and travel photos and all of that to I use Facebook to grow my business.
Yeah, yeah.
And it is a decision that you have to make, right? Because it's kind of like to do both. You can do both, but it's a lot more powerful when you just do one.
Yeah.
I do both, but my focus is always now on, but the thing is like I share a lot of personal stuff there too, you know, and I think that that's quite powerful when done well, you know, like not to be elegantly vulnerable. I think that's a great term.
Yeah.
You're not airing your dirty laundry out on Facebook.
Yeah.
But like, and especially, I don't know if you read it, I wrote a post today about the rise of AI in content creation.
Yeah, so that,
Yeah, it's going to become even more important that we are being as like real as we can, because there's going to be a torrent of information, AI written, informative content posts on social media that are just going to become like overwhelming. I think.
Yeah.
People are going to want more human, you know?
Yeah. Well, actually, I was talking to Thierry the other day. He's one of his clients. I don't know if he was one of the developers or something of ChatGPT.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he was saying that actually, because of the huge rise of AI, what's going to be rising even higher in the next 4 to 5 years is that need for connection, human connection.
Absolutely.
So what we're doing is actually going to be in great demand.
We'll be ahead of the 8 ball for sure.
Yeah.
I'm all about intimacy, like building and fostering intimacy with your community, inside your programs, with your clients, even with people that don't pay you, you know, like intimacy is so important. It's like right there in my gene keys is my life's work. And it wasn't until I saw that I put the two together.
Right.
But it's like so essential for me. And I think absolutely with this. And it's why I do these books. Because it's so important and it's such a powerful marketing tool and a powerful way to get yourself out there that's a little bit unique, and it's not just like slapdash launching on socials, you know?
Yeah, well, it's going to take off even more, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's the transformational aspect of it too. So, you know, coming back to your, like, what is your transformational process? Like where do you take people from and to, and then like, how do you communicate that? That's always the challenge. But when you learn how to do that, very powerful.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And it's finding different angles and different topics and weaving things and you know, like what's your human design? Are you a manifestor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Am I? God, I can't remember. I always forget. I think I am. Is that the
to inform?
No, I think I'm the same as you.
Manifesting generator. Anyway,
I must be generator.
Generator.
I must be generator because
to wait to respond.
To wait to respond, yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Oh no, it's Carly who said that. That's right, Carly. You were Lenore and I met up at the beach the other day and we were talking about it. So I was like picturing you in my head where you were sitting and Carly was sitting. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, waiting to look, there's so much in that, in responding and being open to respond. Like, are we even open to respond?
Yeah.
Or are we just like doing our thing and, you know?
Yeah.
Are we actually curious about what is happening in our world that we have to respond to? that's always the first step for me. That was the first
Yeah.
step for me, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to go into this in a lot more detail in the Generator in Business Micromind if you want to dive into that with me, like in a hyper dive.
Yep. Okay.
But circling back to your chapter and the bio and everything, I think write the bio, bring in your experience. Don't just like timestamp it from when you started your business. And the big thing is like, you know, what do you stand for? What's your mission? What are you here to do?
Yeah. I'd asked in the thread, but I thought I could ask tonight anyway, but it sounds like I can project in my bio, I can project what I'm going to do. Like I was with Jules the other night and she was getting all these downloads about what my next step is. And I kind of knew that there's a big twin flame paradigm shift. But she got all these downloads that I'm going to be kind of leading that paradigm shift. And so created a bit of a new language around that. So if thinking, can I put that in my bio, even though it hasn't been downloaded to me yet?
Totally, if you feel it. And if you feel like that's something powerful to respond to.
Yeah.
Right? Like if she's given you the little nugget and it's activated something really powerful for you, 100%.
It certainly has. Like I've been watching, even calling myself a twin flame coach doesn't sound right. It sounds really pedestrian or something. I've been watching tarot readings for ages and I've got tarot, I've got a million cards and I do it, but I've never I thought I really, really want to do tarot cards and have a YouTube channel but nothing's been allowing me to do it. So it's obviously not what I'm meant to do. And then when I think about this language shift of twin flame paradigm, even the wordage doesn't sound
what I would
right.
do if I were you? I would do some channeling around it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Whether it's vocal channeling or written channeling.
Okay.
Tap in and ask, what is the paradigm shift that I'm here to lead? Tap into your higher self, tap into your team. Whoever it is, the aliens, the galactic.
The galactic.
Been tapping into them lately. They're pretty wild.
Well, I got an Arcturian spine.
Amazing. So tapping into the Arcturians.
And they're the strongest healers apparently. So that kind of
very old
really resonated in not only that I've been a healer my whole life, especially working life, but twin flame is all about healing and evolving. It's not a romance.
Channel from them, like what's their concept? You know, what's their concept? That would be real. Let me know.
I will. Okay. I think
awesome.
I think that's it. So the editing that's going to be done now that we're handing in for, what do they do? The type of editing you had done?
They will do a deeper edit.
Right.
So I've done a top level, high level edit. More looking at like I've given different kinds of feedback to different people depending on what's required. A little bit of developmental, some grammatical, some I went quite deep into grammatical editing. But we wanted really to get the chapters to a standard so that when the official editor comes in, then it's like they can spend more time doing the deeper important editing rather than that high level, top level edit. So it will be different depending, right? Some chapters don't need a lot of editing because they're written beautifully and they're written really well. And some chapters really benefit from a detailed edit. So it'll be a detailed grammatical editing. And then it comes back to you, so it'll be about 4 weeks usually. That it takes, because it's quite a process. And then your chapters come back and then you guys get, I think, about 5 days. I have to have a look at the calendar. 5 days to accept or reject the edits, just like you did with me when I went through with Google Docs. Really important, 10 minor changes only. So it's not an opportunity to rewrite your chapter. Really have to stress that. Just because the editing, and then it comes back to us, it goes through a proofread and then it goes to format. Yeah. So
Okay.
there's kind of the three layers.
Okay.
And we do that so that we have a really good quality book.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first book that I did, I was like 40 weeks pregnant when we launched it, and the editing was a nightmare. And I got the book, the proofread of the, and I cried because it was so bad. It was so bad for this baby, and I was like, fuck.
Oh God.
We had to get the whole book re-edited and reformatted and relaunched. It was a nightmare. So yeah, I'm really conscious of it now because you want it to be a really good quality.
Yeah.
When it's something's in print, you don't want it to be done shit.
That's right. Yeah.
And I work with an amazing couple of editors that have phenomenal attention to detail.
Right. Okay.
I have good high level, big picture. I'm not really a details person, and in this industry, you really need someone who's a details person.
Yep.
I've learned. Yeah.
Radio.
Did anyone else have any other questions about the editing submission process?
If I can, I'd love to.
Yeah, sure.
One of the things I wanted to ask you is some of the changes were that difference between the American spelling.
Yes, yeah.
And so mine was more British spelling, British English.
Yeah.
Suggestions that you
and I did realize this afterwards that so it's important when you save your chapter, the title. Did you watch the little video that I did a couple of days ago?
I'm catching up on all the videos now.
That's fine. I'll show you. I'll pull it up now so that our editor knows what you are. I'll show you. Share screen. Can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
So this is how we want you to save your document. First name / last name / chapter title / original / UK.
Yeah.
And so we'll know based on whether you're in the UK or Australia, which goes by British spelling and grammar, or the UK, which US, which is US spelling. Yeah. So please, I apologize about that. I actually meant to reach out to you and say, I'm so sorry. I realized afterwards that, and I think Bronwyn, I might have done a couple of minor edits with yours as well, where I accidentally changed it to US spelling. It might have been someone else.
No, that's okay. That's
so
good.
just as long as we've got that on the end, and then the editor will know to edit it with either American or British grammar. Okay. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And that's the same way with, this is all in the chapter specs document as well.
Yeah.
The same with the bio. So first name _ last name _ bio _ original _ UK or US.
Okay.
And then we'll go first draft, second draft, as we go through, and then final, and it's quite a thing. Okay, where am I going? Here. Back to meeting, stop share. There we go.
Thank you. And the other thing I just want to check in, you said about 4 weeks.
Yep.
When it comes back, because I leave on I'm away, I'll still be around next Friday, not this one, the next one.
Yep. How long are you away for?
A month.
Okay.
But I'll be still able to come in.
Sure.
But I just wanted to check in when it comes back, and how you said there's 5 days.
Yep.
How will we know that it's back there the same way that you did it the first time, or?
Yes. So you'll get an email with your chapter link. It'll be a different link to a Google Doc, and that'll have the edited version in there. And you'll get an email pretty much saying, here's your chapter. Please hand in your finalized version by what date? 5 days from now. Might be 3. I'll let you know. Yeah, so you can do that from anywhere, obviously. If you're overseas, that's fine. And really, it doesn't have to take very long. It's simply going through and accepting or rejecting the edits. If there's any minor changes, like a different word here, a different link there, restructuring of a sentence here, but just not like a whole paragraph here, changing do you know what I mean? Yeah.
I just didn't want to miss it. That's all.
Yeah, you'll get an email. Email.
Okay. I might talk to Genevieve because it goes to that email that I never use. So I've got to make sure it comes to the one that I use.
Yeah, right. So that was the only issue was with my email software. For some reason it wasn't landing. It was not sending to you. So I will make note of that. And I might even also PM it to you in Instagram as well.
Thank you. That would be great, because I'd hate to miss it.
Of course, you won't. We'll make sure you won't miss it.
Thank you.
No worries. Did anyone else have a
Tash,
question?
I just had one extra question.
Yeah.
If I decide to just do a last 3-minute read and change, I've already sent them through on Google Docs the original. Would I just do this, like do the changes and then just resend it? Or I mean, I know it updates.
Yeah.
It updates anyway.
Yeah.
So if I change it, I can just leave it.
Yes.
Like I can just change it and then it'll just auto
yes,
update.
it'll auto update.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Yeah.
So
it's
that's
just
the
that
same.
once the editor has it, then they will pretty much copy it and paste it into another document and then work on it there. Just so we've got like the progression of the chapters. Yeah. So as long as it's in by the time and it's the way you want it by the time, 5 p.m. Thursday.
Yeah. So if I just like I'm just thinking I might just like with one of my like I might just reframe one of my sentences kind of thing. And I might redo my bio like because it's just listening to that. I might post it in the group and just see how it reads to people. Like
You're welcome to do that.
I might just do that and then if I need to change it, I'll put the in my calendar. Thank you.
Yay. All righty. 9 o'clock. I'm done. We've all had gastro here the last 48 hours, so it's been a really. I said to Tiara, I was like, Tiara, it's been a shit show. Oh, lol. It's been awful. Anyway, so I'm going to go to bed. I love you. I'm so proud of you. You're doing amazing.
Thank you.
Doing amazing. Yeah. We're going to do this beautifully. We are doing it beautifully.
Have a good sleep, everyone.
See you later.
Yeah, look after yourself. See you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.